Hello, welcome to Sunspiration. My name is Victor Tarfa and today is Sunday. So Victor Tarfa on a Sunday, that brings you Sunspiration. If you're watching for the first time, Sunspiration is inspiration from the Holy Bible. I am a speaker and a Christian, so every Sunday I go in the Holy Bible and I dig in there to find a powerful story to fire you up for the week. In the month of May, this Sunday being the last Sunday in the month of May, I've been talking about a topic, return. I've been looking at areas in which people had to go back to where they were sent to, or areas in which people had to leave or go and say goodbye before leaving where they were sent to. And as I wrapped up very powerfully, I just read a very inspirational story and I just went in and I thought to myself, I need to share this. So today I'm looking at the story of Jonah. Yes, you heard me right. I'm sure you've all heard about the songs we used to sing back in the days. Jonah, Jonah, in a fish belly, in a fish belly. That's Jonah in the belly of a fish. And I'm sure you heard those Bible stories during your Sunday school days. Or even maybe you've seen the cartoons on TV. But you know what? I just want to give a slightly different angle to you today as I focus on our theme for May, which is return. Very quickly, Jonah was called by God and was sent to go to Nineveh to go and deliver a message because the people had gone astray. And Jonah decided not to go. So the step one is he went out there, he paid the fare for a ship and jumped on it to head to Tarshish, which is a whole different place from he was sent to. As Jonah went out there, it just gave me an idea. Sometimes when I look at our life and look at where we are, and we're wondering why things are not working out properly. You might be wondering, have we gone the wrong way? God has called us and sent us somewhere, but we haven't listened or we haven't really gone there. Or we have our purpose, we have our mission here on earth. Maybe we have decided to go a different way. And the times in which you might be wondering, why are these things not working? Why are these things not working? Have you ever gone somewhere and then everything just went a whole different way? And then you now thought to yourself, I cannot believe I actually paid my own money to come here. I remember a time I went for an event in Nigeria, and when I sat in there, I thought to myself, what am I doing here? And I had to ask myself the question, I cannot believe I paid my money to come here. So Jonah was sent on a mission, which is the first point I've just made. And secondly, he went a different way. And he was sent on a mission to go to Nineveh. He decided to go to Tarshish. And he went and paid the fare for the journey. As we say in Nigeria, he went and bought a job for himself, or he went and looked for wahala for himself. Sometimes we might find ourselves in the wrong place, and we have to ask ourselves the question, how did we get here? Because a lot of times when we look at it, we realize that we might have caused it for ourselves. We might have been the ones that decided to go a different way from where we actually called to. And the interesting thing is, sometimes we even pay money for it, for that trouble that we find ourselves in. And the third point I want to make is, while he was on there, the ship became turbulent. There was a heavy storm, and they had no choice but to throw him overboard after casting lots. So they knew that somebody on the boat had done something wrong, and that's why they were having all that turbulence. And he was down there sleeping. And when they woke him up, they said, why can't you be praying to your God? Why are you sleeping? And then later on, they now said to him, we're going to cast lots because somebody on this boat must have done something wrong. And then they realized it was him, and they threw him overboard. And when they threw him overboard, he was now swallowed by a big fish. Now, while he was in that fish, he decided it was time for him to reflect. It was time for him to think about his life. It was time for him to actually cry out to God to save him. Today, you might be feeling as if you are in Jonah's position. You might be feeling as if you are in a place where you're in the belly of a fish. And every time you think about it, every time you look into it, you realize that there is a possibility that you caused it on yourself. But I want to say to you something today. There is a time for a turnaround. God will definitely bring a turnaround in your life. And as I carry on the story of Jonah, I love the way chapter 3 kicked off. It kicked off by saying, the word of God came to Jonah the second time. I'll say that again. The start of chapter 3 of the book of Jonah says, the word of God came to Jonah the second time. That really inspired me. That really fired me up. Because sometimes I could feel to myself, all this thing I'm doing. Because even when I'm doing some speaking sometimes, maybe recording some videos, I'm feeling, am I supposed to be doing this? Because it takes a lot of effort to stay consistent and carry on and carry on and carry on delivering these messages. It takes a lot of time to think of what message am I going to put out. And it could get me stressful sometimes. Am I going to ask the question, do I really want to, I'm not sure I want to do this or not. But I love the fact that even when I go complaining sometimes, God always listens to me. He always brings that turnaround for me and says, Victor, keep going. Just keep going. And I love it. They say the word of God came to Jonah the second time. Jonah was given a second time. And let me tell you something. You deserve a second time too. As long as you confess and decide to turn your life around. If you read on right to the end of the book of Jonah, you realize that when Jonah got out there and delivered the message, the people listened, they turned their lives around, and God forgave them. Every call we have here on earth is to serve other people. So there are people out there who are waiting for you. Those people's lives were saved, and God did not destroy them because Jonah went out there and delivered the message that God gave him to deliver. Who is waiting to hear your message? Who is waiting for that invention that you're supposed to do? Who is waiting for you, which you have been called to rescue? Who are those? What communities, what people are waiting for you to speak up, to do something, to bring that thing they need in their lives that could bring that transformation they actually need? It's a good time to reflect. Have you run off in a different direction? Do you feel as if you're in the belly of a fish? Have you paid the fare yourself? Have you cost it upon yourself? Jonah used his own money to buy the trouble he ended up in. I want to say to you, today is a great day for a turnaround. As Jonah prayed in the belly of that fish, God heard him, God rescued him, and when he went and delivered the message, God saved the lives of those people because they heard the message and they turned their lives around. Listen clearly, his voice is speaking to you again. The word of God came to Jonah the second time. Stay blessed. Love you all.